All right, let's get into it. Today, we're talking about something that's really at the core of how modern software gets made: DevOps and continuous delivery. We're going to unpack how these ideas can take what is often a really painful process, shipping software, and turn it into this smooth, constant flow of value.
So just take a second and think about the last time your company pushed out a big update. Was it a celebration, a seamless, confident push of a button? Or was it a crisis, an all-hands-on-deck, weekend-destroying nightmare, just full of stress and last-minute rollbacks? For way too many companies, it's the second one. And that's the problem we're going to dig into.
Now, to really get why the solution works, we have to understand the problem first. And I think the best way to do that is with a story about a company that might sound, well, a little too familiar. So let's imagine a company called Acme Systems. They started out as a classic, scrappy startup. Small team, super agile, moving incredibly fast. And because they were good, they got acquired and became part of this huge corporation. And then, everything just got slow, unsteady. The goal, as we're about to see, is to find that sweet spot, that third stage, how to be fast and reliable at the same time.
This right here really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? It's a tale of two completely different cultures. In the startup world, it's all about trust and speed. It's about empowering people to get things done. But then you flip over to the corporate phase, and suddenly it's all about process for the sake of process. It's not about the goal anymore. It's about navigating the red tape. That's where things start to seize up.
And this slowdown creates some really painful symptoms. Suddenly, shipping even a small change takes forever. Every release becomes this massive, risky event. You've got developers who have no idea what it's like to actually run their code in the real world. They're just throwing it over the wall. This leads to different teams pointing fingers at each other, and pretty soon, nobody's trying anything new. Innovation just dies. So Acme Systems basically hit a brick wall. All the money and resources of a big corporation couldn't fix what was fundamentally a broken culture and a broken process. They needed something totally different, a whole new way of thinking about work. So the first piece of this new puzzle is something called continuous delivery. And the big idea here is actually to make software releases, well, boring. Seriously, it's about building a reliable factory line for your code, so you can build, test, and ship quality products over and over again, safely. It's not a big, scary event, it's just another Tuesday. The other piece of the puzzle, and this is just as important, is DevOps. You can think of this as the cultural glue that holds everything together. It's about literally breaking down that wall between the people who build the software, the developers, and the people who have to run it in production, the operations team. When they're on the same team, with the same goals, the whole system just works better.
And this quote from Einstein just nails it, right? It's so easy to think, oh, if we just buy this new tool, everything will be fixed. But it won't. If you have the same old culture of blame, the same slow processes, the same lack of trust, you're going to get the same painful results. You have to actually change how you work together. This is really the bedrock of it all. It starts with creating a culture where it's safe to be honest and it's safe to fail. The idea is to fail fast and learn from it, not hide it. So when something breaks, the first question isn't who messed up, it's how can we improve our system so this can't happen again. And a huge part of this is making small, simple changes all the time. That's what lowers the risk and makes the whole process feel safe.
Okay, so we've got the philosophy, we've got the culture, but how do you actually do this stuff today? Let's talk about the tech that makes this all possible at scale.
Because look, these principles have been around for a while, but the tools we use are always evolving. So what does a high-performing team actually use to pull this off right now? Today, pretty much any serious conversation about this stuff is going to start with Kubernetes. The best way to think about it is like it's the operating system for the cloud. It's the standard platform that lets you run and manage your applications in a totally automated and reliable way, no matter where they're running.
And if Kubernetes is the powerful engine, then Prometheus is the dashboard with all the gauges. It's a monitoring system that's built to collect all the tiny details you need to know exactly what's happening inside your system at any moment. You can't improve what you can't measure, right? Prometheus gives you the eyes to see what's going on.
Okay, so let's see how this all clicks together in a real-world scenario. Imagine your app suddenly gets a huge burst of traffic. This is how a modern system handles it without anyone breaking a sweat. Prometheus is the lookout. It sees the surge in traffic. It feeds that information to Kubernetes' brain, this thing called the horizontal pod autoscaler. The autoscaler looks at the data and decides, whoa, we need more power right now. And then boom, it automatically spins up more copies of your app to handle the load. All of this happens in seconds without a single human having to intervene. It's a system that heals and adapts itself.
So all this effort, changing the culture, adopting new tools, it's not just for fun, and it's not just for the engineers. It delivers real, tangible results for the business. Let's look at the payoff.
This is a look at Acme's old process, and honestly, it's pretty shocking. To get one idea from a developer's brain to a customer, it spent 42 days just waiting for approvals, waiting in testing queues, just sitting there. The actual work, the value-add time, was only about 10 days. That means their process was only 20% efficient. 80% of the time was pure, unadulterated waste. Think about that. That's a month and a half you're just giving away to your competitors on every single new feature.
And a huge part of getting rid of that waste is building this no-blame culture we've been talking about. This table breaks it down really well. It's not about letting people off the hook. It's about focusing on the right thing. Instead of pointing fingers at a person who made a mistake, you dig in and figure out how the system allowed that mistake to happen. That's how you actually learn and get better, instead of just making everyone afraid to try anything.
And when you do this, the benefits are massive. A critical security bug comes out, you can patch it in hours, not months. You can finally try out new ideas with small groups of users to see if they actually work. You get higher quality code, way fewer failed deployments, and, this is a big one, you get happier, more creative engineers who feel like they can actually make an impact. It's really important to remember, though, that this isn't a project you just finish. You don't do DevOps and then check it off a list. It's a completely different mindset. It's a continuous journey of getting better.
I absolutely love this analogy. Think of your delivery process as a river. You want the water to flow smoothly. At first, you see these huge boulders blocking the way. Maybe it's your terrible manual deployment process. So you work hard and you get that boulder out of there. The river flows faster. But now, because the water level is lower, you can see all these smaller rocks you never even knew were there. Maybe it's a lack of good automated tests. So you remove those, and on it goes. It's a never-ending cycle of improvement.
And this is a simple little engine you use to clear those rocks. The plan, do, check, adjust cycle. It's basically the scientific method for your process. You find a problem, you come up with an idea to fix it, you try it out, you measure to see if it actually worked, and then you either adopt the change or you go back to the drawing board. You just keep turning this crank over and over, and everything just gets a little bit better, every single time. So let's end on this question. Forget all the buzzwords and the tech for a second. Just think about the feeling. The feeling of seeing the code you just wrote, your ideas, actually out there being used by real people almost instantly. For a lot of people, that thought is terrifying. For others, that is the dream. And that shift in feeling from fear to empowerment, that's what this whole transformation is really about.